Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Reborn again.
We are at 204 West 84th Street, and it's a very bright and beautiful day today at the center. Good morning, everyone. And we're so happy to have you all for our Sunday gathering. And today is a very special day for us because we are opening up the center and we are welcoming people back to the center. But before we go into all that we have planned for today, I'd like to invite Reverend Judith for our meditation session. We'll be back at 11 a.m. for the lesson. Reverend Judith.
Okay. Good morning. It is my pleasure to be conducting the healing meditation this morning. So I would like for you to, if you can, to just sit up straight in your chairs with your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes. Let your eyeballs kind of drop towards your navel, a little below. And have this intent for yourselves, to experience something wonderful. When I say God or Spirit, substitute that word for whatever you call the higher power. So let's take in a very deep, slow breath. Hold it in and let it out. Deep, slow breath. Hold it in and let it out. As I speak, continue to take in these deep, slow breaths. Breathing, breath is our connection with spirit. So as you breathe in, hold it in and realize that you are breathing in the very love of God. Release that love as it cleanses your consciousness, your body, your mind, your life. Breathe in that love, hold it in, and release it. As you breathe in that love and hold it in, and you're breathing it out into the world. Feel where you are. You're in the divine embrace of spirit. You're wrapped in the everlasting loving arms of your Creator. Feel the love. Feel the peace. Feel the power. Feel the good. Feel spirit embracing you in its embrace. Breathe in the love. Hold in the love and let out the love to bless all. realize that there is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect, whole, and complete. And that life is your life now. That life is my life now. I am the very life of God, the Creator, first cause expressing. Breathe in, hold it in, and breathe out. Spirit God is life itself. It is light itself. And that light expresses through you, through me, through us. So we are the light of God right where we are. Our consciousness illumes ourselves, our space, and all around us. God is the light that I am. Breathe in the love. God is love, and we are one with it. God is the love that I am. I love to love with the love of God. Love radiates from me, blessing all that it touches, and I receive from each the love of God, for we are one. I love to love with the love of God. Breathe in, hold it in, and let it out. God is peace, and I am the peace of spirit. Nothing touches me harmfully, nothing can hurt me. I am surrounded by peace because I know who I am, so I know who everyone is. I know what everything is. Peace is my reality because my reality is God. Breathe in the power of God. God is powerful, and so am I. I am the power of spirit expressing as me. Within me is the ability to know and to do and to be in charge of myself, spirit as me. And I use that power well. Breathe in, feel that love, and release it as blessing. God is beauty. All is beautiful because all is spirit God. I choose and I see that beauty all around me. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am the beloved of the beloved. And I see only good, only beauty, because I see only God. God is joyous because it knows that it is all there is and it knows what it is. I accept that joy that I am as spirit, individualized, and feel that joy in everything I think, everything I say, everything I do, as done as a joyous action of the Creator. Feel the love and know that you are always in that divine embrace, and you're choosing to always know it, always feel it, always believe in it. God is the life that I am. God is the love that I am. God is all there is, and I am one with it. This is my truth. I embrace it. I live it. I am one with the one. I am that I am, and I know it, and I'm grateful for it. And so it is. So it is.
Many of us look at life through dark or cloudy or distorted lenses. Our view is distorted. It's a bit warped. And sometimes all these things seem too much for many of us, that we're all students and teachers to one another. And that's very true. We are all students, and we always will be students, because there will always be more and more for us to learn. When you're awake and you're alive with the Spirit, everything is animated, and you have a consciousness, and there's an aliveness within you, and you sense this aliveness in everyone. You hear people talk about the love and the energy, but there's an aliveness in everything you can look at. All the universe is alive with this energy, the Spirit. You might take a moment to take that in. All the universe is alive with the Spirit. There's nothing you can think of, nothing you can look at that's not alive with Spirit. Let that thought sink in a little bit. All the universe is alive with Spirit. The universe is alive. There's not a spot where God is not. We largely live in darkness. We have lenses that are very distorted at times. The real world is the spiritual world, and we live so much in the world of effects. Some of you want transformation. Some of you are looking for self-mastery. A few from every age discover the consciousness that was in Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson spoke what we teach as well as anyone ever did. But few had the understanding, the consciousness that could really take him in. How can we level up to that kind of spiritual understanding? To that place where I know that nothing and no one is against me? How do we get to the place where we know that all of life is here for us, awaiting our spiritual discovery? We have built in what we call forgetters. Sadly, as Barker used to say, our inspiration doesn't last long. So to live this affirmative life requires a little bit of us. We seem to run from the light for some reason also, because the light involves change. If you run to the light, all of a sudden, oh my God, here I am, and there's much about me that I won't label as bad, but I will suggest that, okay, when you're approaching the light and you're gaining all this information, it becomes obvious to you that some things you need to let go of. We remember the truth, and then we seem to forget it quickly. Practicing the truth does bring about a lot of change. My hopes for everyone here is that you join with us more often and stay awake a bit longer. We're doing, all of us, the best we can with the information, the understanding, and the awareness that we have. Get the teachers, messages will come in. But the thing is, we have a tendency to reject and move on, work against ourselves in that way. If you can stay with it, there can be, and there will be a quickening. There is power for good in operation, and you can definitely use it. If you don't level up, if you don't step up, if you keep telling yourself you don't know what to do, if you keep letting everyone else make decisions for you, that's certainly your prerogative. All of those decisions will bring forth other situations. Same song, different verse, a little bit louder and a little bit worse. It doesn't have to be that way. You know, the universe can send you a little nudge and you can learn with it, or you can get a bigger jab, or you can get hit by a cosmic 2x4. You don't have to go through the pain. You can surrender, live a happier life. It's entirely up to you to stay plugged in. I would suggest make it a priority. So it's as though there's a conspiracy in life to lift you up to a higher place. If I'm longing to express life in a better way, in a more evolved way, I can. In our study, we recognize that we are dealing with a principle that's infinite, and our demonstrations are likewise infinite. And indeed, through our spiritual, I'm sure some of you are, and some of you are considering it. Some of you are sick and tired of wherever it's been. Stepping out of all of that, stepping out of the darkness is what we do. I understand the same way Louise Hay understood presence. Your consideration of this material indicates that you are becoming ready, or you are ready. As we begin our journey, all of us, and develop the willingness to challenge our perceptions and our biases, we almost immediately see changes taking place as we're willing to change our thinking.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday gathering at First Center for Spiritual Living. We are at 204 West 84th Street, and it's a very beautiful day today at New York City, Manhattan, and I'm sure it's beautiful wherever you are too. And we're happy to have you all on the call with us today, and we're expecting a number of people to come in at the center today for our opening party, community party. Let's go straight into what we have for you today. We'd like to start with an affirmative prayer, and I'd like to invite our very own Reverend Robert for the affirmative prayer.
Thank you, James. You're welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. So let us go within in the continuation of our meditation today and breathe in the life of spirit. Every breath is that divine connection to the one source, the one power, presence within, where everything needed and necessary to move onward, upward, and forward in life, to be greater than you might think you are, for the greater good to unfold in your life. Everything is right within us. And this is the time to celebrate that knowingness, that truth. That spirit is alive and empowering each one to center ourselves in this truth. So I'm knowing and believing and declaring that each one is a center of God consciousness, that each one has opened up and leveled up in consciousness to allow this truth to unfold in every aspect, in every moment of one's life. Because it is in this recognition of the oneness of spirit that strengthens the soul, the heart, the mind, the body of each one to move in a forward movement with great strength and great power and great love. To see that love from within, to see it in all, through all, and as all. Each one is that loving spirit of God, that loving spirit of life, embracing life with all the good that it has to offer. So if there's anything in the consciousness of anyone right here and right now that would block this good from moving forward, it is right now uprooted and gone. Any thoughts of doubt, fear, loss, limitation is simply not the truth. But as we move deeper in the center of our being, we feel the presence of spirit. We feel the strength of the oneness of God within. And this empowers each one to level up in consciousness and to move in that onward and forward motion, never looking back. This is a forward movement recognition for each one. As I release this word into the creative mind of law and action, where it is already accepted, where it is already celebrating the truth of our being, that we are one with spirit, that we are one with the life of spirit, the life of the power, the good, the strength that our teaching gives us. We are that forward movement teaching of the science of mind. And the science of mind is to be inspired in spirit, moment by moment, minute by minute, and accepting this as the absolute truth of each one's being. And for this, I celebrate it. I know it to be the truth. I know that it is the truth, and I release it to the creative law of mind in action for each one. And so it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today's a celebration, isn't it? We are celebrating. Oh boy, if you could only see the goodies that are surrounding us right here in the center. So we're welcoming back those who live in New York and are able to come to our center today to celebrate with us. And we celebrate all of you out there in TV land, I guess you could say, who are on the Zoom class, the Zoom, using the Zoom podium. So we welcome you. There are a lot of things going on here at the center. Of course, today is the welcome back party. And Tuesday, July 13th, we are starting our class, The Power of Decision. Reverend Judith and I will be teaching the class, and we're very excited about it because it's an afternoon class. It's from 3 to 5 starting on Tuesday. And The Power of Decision is really a book that Dr. Barker, who was the first minister of First Church of Religious Science back in 1966, I believe, he came to New York. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, sent him to New York to open up a center. He wanted a center opened up in New York, and Dr. Barker was chosen to do that, and he did. And that was back in 1966, and he had his first lessons at Town Hall here in New York until he was able to purchase the building at 14 East 48th Street. So Dr. Barker wrote many books: Treatment, Treat Yourself to Life, The Power of Wisdom, and this is The Power of Decision. And he tells you how important it is to make a decision, and how not making a decision is not making a decision is worse than making the wrong decision. You must make decisions in your life, and we're going to show you how to affirm these decisions to be decisions that are going to make you greater than you think you are, and that's really important. Working on the class this past week, I've made some new decisions in my life that I could feel have inspired me, not only to make decisions in my life, but to teach, to lead, to guide those who are going to be attending the class, and how to make decisions to empower your life. So it's a great book. If you are signed up for the class, I ask that you purchase the book. I think Amazon has it online. And come to the class. You can Zoom it, send your email for those of you on Instagram, Facebook, and send your Twitter. Just send your email. Send your email to the center, and we will send you all the information needed for you to begin the class with us on Tuesday from 3 to 5. So you all also know that we have classes here every Tuesday. It's the Louise Hayes class. So we ask that you join us for that. That's Thursdays from 7 to 8:30 or 7 to 8. I'm going to ask Reverend Judith to come up and say a few words about the class and how inspired she is to be able to teach it together. Because I'm inspired to be teaching it with you, Judith, and I thought perhaps you might want to say a little bit.
I don't know anything else I can add because you have said it all and you put it very well. So, as he said, it's going to be dynamite. And I'm looking forward to it, and we're ready for it. And we want to see this room filled, as it should be. The power of decision, that knowing is something that you live with every day of your life, almost every moment of your life, because you know you're always making a decision about something. Doesn't have to be a big decision about what school to go to or who to marry or hang out with, just everyday little things. But those decisions are based on something. And if you don't make a decision, that means you're making a decision and somebody's gonna make it for you. So please come, you're definitely gonna get something out of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're ready for the lesson, and I'd like to invite Dr. Greg for the lesson today. It's titled Purpose. Dr. Greg.
Morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to First Center for Spiritual Living in New York. Welcome to those of you I can see on Instagram. Today is the day of our coming back to the building party, and I want to be thanking everybody here who went to all the time and expense to bring in the food and set up the room, and it's appreciated. We have all kinds of food, and this is our day to come together. Anthony is here, and he's been working on this all week long to get you delicacies, fine wine, lots of beverages, and I think we've got some kind of music and all kinds of things. So we're doing important work here. Everybody's pulling together to have this center be noticed, be found, and to do the work we're here to do. So for those of you who've put in all this effort, I want to say thank you in advance. I'm sure it's going to be a good time. I hope some of you on the call are planning to come in when you hang up. Anyway, so let's start. Jimmy's been telling us our audience is growing and growing. And I'm asking him to give me actual figures each week now, because we're having hundreds of people watch us on social platforms. And I don't always know, what those numbers are, but he's going to make that part of his weekly report. YouTube is live, Instagram is live, Facebook is live, and we're meeting in person on Zoom. So if you're watching us for the first time, you might send us a message and we can link you up to Zoom, because in the Zoom experience, you can interact with us usually after any lesson or any service. There's a time for the community to interact with each other, and that's really it's a lot of fun, and this is really the best way to experience us. Also, if you send in a message, we can invite you to be a member if you want, or also you can receive our newsletter, which is full of spiritual gems for your enjoyment, and you can better stay in touch with what we're doing. We intend to be offering a couple spirit groups in the very near future, in addition to the class that Reverend Robert and Reverend Judith are about to teach. That class begins on Tuesday of this week, and contact the center to register for that class. The other activities that we're doing right now are free to the public, and everyone's invited. And just send in a message to the office, and we can get you enrolled, or if you want to be a member, half of our members now are virtual members. So you can become a member of the center from anywhere in the world. Just let us know. So today I have different talk ideas, themes running into one talk. And it's generally about purpose and the importance of having a purpose. So one idea, one topic, a favorite, came from my mother, actually. Don't know how she came to mind this weekend as I was putting my thoughts together. My mother was a very successful lady in so many ways. And she always used to say, you get to decide. And I really never got the importance of that till I was much older than I first heard it from her. You get to decide what your life is going to be and what it's going to be all about. And what she said exactly 1,000 times and probably 10,000 times, it's entirely up to you. I always knew she was a smart woman, but that line speaks to me in such a profound way. And it speaks of wisdom that I didn't really appreciate, so much when I was younger. I didn't really get it the same way I get it now. It's entirely up to you. So life is corresponding. It's always responding to you. It always has been. There's a song I like. You were born into this strange world. That's a lyric. I like the song. You were born into a strange world, and like a candle, you were meant to share the fire. You're full of aliveness and light and fire, and like a candle, you were meant to share this fire. First time I heard that song, I connected with that lyric, and it's so true. You are alive in life. And you're here to have an awesome experience and to share that fire. We help you at the center awaken to this every single week in everything we do in one way or another. You are writing your own story, and you get to decide what you're going to do. It's entirely up to you. The song's lyric goes on to say, I don't know where we come from, and I don't know where we go, but we're here to share the light and to change this life. You're always about creation, whether you realize it or not. We learn here at the center to consciously create, to co-create, because we're connected and united with Source. We expand in consciousness here. And when we're in connection, coming from connection with Source, and you absolutely have a sense, there's a quickening within you that you're here to be part of something much bigger. So we come here every week because we are a part of a bigger idea. We're here to personally thrive and to really invest in this center so the center can be here long after we are to carry on this important message. We now have a virtual community, and we're having we're having our own community of people here in New York come back together. So it's really important that everybody make the effort to come in. Again, thank you for all you've done to put this party together. I know people have worked really hard all this week. And for our virtual attendees, we're really thrilled you're here. We're thrilled we can get this message out to people all over the world and right into your living room. Let me start today by asking everyone, do you know what you have come here to be? Do you have a sense about it? Do you know what you've come here to do? Or do you know what you are here to express? As I ask these questions to everyone who is listening and who is here today, there's always an answer. And I know you know on some level. I used to have a great teacher, Bill Tolliver, who used to say to me and all of us, when we would say, I don't know, he would respond, you know, and you know that you know. So today I'm going to call you all out on this one. Do you know who you have come here to be? There's something within you that's answering even as I say it. There's a quickening. There's a sense. Even if you don't really have it down, you have an idea. You either know now or you have an inkling of what you are here to express, what you're here to do. I know it's a big question, but we're always about big ideas here, and we're nurturing these big ideas. We're not here to play small. We're here to evolve and to grow and to stretch. As we grow spiritually, we learn to share the fire, to share the light in a way that is uniquely ours. We learn to share our gifts as only we can do. Nobody can do it better than you. I want to remind you, each of you listening today on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, or wherever you are, each in your own way have beaten all the odds in your own life, from conception right up through this day in the 2021. You've beaten every odd and every single thing and obstacle that you've been through and accomplished. You are a winner in so many ways. And you may not think of yourself as so. You may not hear people tell you that you are a success, but you are. You're a great success. And those are the kind of messages that would be really great for each of us to remind ourselves of. We learn in this teaching to be cheerleaders of life, cheerleaders of ourself, cheerleaders of every step that moves forward. A song I also like, with every hand that reaches out in love. You know, these are the people who are the game changers, the people who come from connection. They are the lifters of the world. They're not dragging it down and weighting it down in heaviness and pain. Now, not everybody can do that, of course. I mean, they can, but they're not awake enough to be that. It's time for us to become very, very clear. Some of you here, some of you in our audience, I know you are clear and you've been working on yourself for a very long time. And some of you are really good at sharing the light and doing so in your own beautiful and unique way. And some of you on the call are just discovering how good you are and how sweet life is and can be. Some of you are just starting your journey. There are people living among us, and you can observe them. I've always known a few. They have a gift of self-awareness, and they have a certain poise, and it outpictures who and what they are. Most often you'll find them, they're uncommonly happy, they're poised, they're unruffled, because they're preoccupied with living life in a very full way and without regret. As people arrive at this place of understanding, they understand the perfection of the moment, and it's really tough to pull them away from it. And they're not taking anything personally. You remember our lessons from the 4 agreements, where we don't take anything personally. And then for the rest of us who are reacting here and there, we're still trying to practice, and we're attempting to become to get ourselves to that place where we can, as Louise Hay used to say, where we can trust life. All of life, everywhere, in every place you can imagine, every civilization, every country, every hamlet, every village, all of life is moving forward by means of each and every one. And as you're considering your purpose, and I know you know what it is on some level, it's time to start clarifying it and fine-tuning it. Our purpose is always about a bigger idea. You know, it isn't about a goal. A goal is simple. I have a goal and I'm going to work towards it. Our purpose is something much larger. It can be thought of as the reason we strive to go forward. The very reason we even make goals. Unlike purpose, goals always seem to have a direction and something you can measure. Purpose, having a purpose and knowing who you've come here to be, is a bigger idea, and it's about your overall direction and your intention. One thing I could say, having been around a long time now, is a lot of people are running around like really fast and acting and reacting and acting and reacting and clamoring to get ahead, and that's not really what you'd call mindful living. So we want to slow down a bit. Perhaps meditate, slow down, pray if you want. But whatever you need to do to get clear about what it is that you want out of life and what you're here to do. You might start writing it down. You might journal. You might already know. If you ask of yourself, ask yourself, what am I here to do? What am I here to be? What am I here to express? At least for me, when I ask those questions, I have instant answers. The universe doesn't mess around. It's very clear, And if you are not yet there where it works that way for you, then do some of these other things I'm suggesting. Everything we do in this teaching is in consciousness. There's an old expression, we do our work in mind. So we're going to go through a process of clarification. If you want to really excel, you want to get clear, because otherwise you're going to be demonstrating a reflection of confusion. If you're confused, your demonstrations are confused. So let's get clear together. Life responds to us. Life responds to you all the time. If you're not clear, again, you're treading water. You ever heard that expression? I used to be a lifeguard. I had to tread water for half an hour. So what are you doing when you're treading water? You're just barely keeping afloat, right? You're moving around in all directions, flapping around, and you're really not going in any direction. So you don't want your life to be like that. You want to be moving forward. So you want to learn how to do the Australian crawl or start doing something, right? As you begin to learn how to use your powers, amazing things will happen. You have power, and Ernest Holmes would say it will respond to you. You can use it. You can put even a demand on consciousness. Bless me, Father. I used to think, who are these people who said we could put a demand on consciousness? You can, because you're an individualization of life, and life responds to you. Once you become clear and once you are aligned with life itself, oh, the places you will go. Today, everybody's thinking about becoming more clear about what their particular purpose is. That's our lesson today. Or wouldn't it be wonderful today, out of this class, or for those of you listening on YouTube a month from now, wouldn't it be wonderful if you had greater clarity? What if everybody today became much more clear and acquired much more self-knowledge and realization of who they are? I hope we're doing that to some extent today. And I hope we're beginning to live as our soul is longing for us to express. You might have a lot of anxiety, you might have a lot of stress, you might have pain, and you might have a lot of things going on. But even as you contemplate this process, people who live the way we live, the way we teach, people who live the affirmative life, join in these lessons week by week because they like being reminded. They like being reminded of the truth of who they are. They like being around other like-minded people who are learning to love themselves and to get on track and learning to live their best lives. I want to talk a little bit about two ideas: connection and expansion. This center's teaching is about creating a place and a space for us to awaken in consciousness and realize that we are connected to Source. And we realize that everything that exists anywhere is connected to the same source. We come from the awareness of connection and love. I think of Theodora now, or Reverend Theodora. She's always talking about love. We come from this place of love. Everything exists as source, divine energy. We live in it, we move in it, we have our being in it, and it responds. We practice the presence. We practice the awareness that this thing is in everything and all the time. This awareness, this precious awareness, causes expansion within our hearts and minds. It has the potential to lift us to higher realms, no longer seeing opposites, no longer being about what's right, what's wrong, who's right, who's wrong. Those conversations really don't interest a true religious scientist, a true practitioner. Rather, within them, there's an expansion and a realization that the world is one and it's unfolding perfectly everywhere and all the time. This practice of loving ourselves and others, moment by moment, brings to us self-realization. We practice seeing the good and the God, and we awaken to knowing we are one with all of life. I remember being told that all healing is done in the mind of God. I was comforted when I heard that once I fully understood the idea. By human standards, sometimes it doesn't look like it's happening fast enough, because you can look at all that's going on in the world, and you can look at what's going on in your own life. People everywhere and anywhere you look, myself included, and all of us are works in progress. We're each unfolding and we're evoluting and we're evolving in consciousness. Everyone is at the right place, learning the right and appropriate lesson for themselves. Many people are coming onto our calls week by week, hundreds and hundreds. And they're coming to our platforms and they're yearning to realize who they are and what they can do. And they want to heal and they want to let go of the cause and source of pain in their life. And they want to learn about their purpose and they want to get on track. And we say welcome to every one of you. And we're glad you're here. Keep connecting with us, because we will keep reinforcing these ideas and keep reminding you of the truth and reminding you of the wonder and the greatness of you. We teach people about affirmative living and trusting life, trusting the process of life. Louise, who came from this New York center, often said just that: trust life. We understand to do that is a high calling in and of itself. We intend to live that way, in connection with Source, with a kind of realization. And with that kind of realization, there has to be an expansion within you. Increasingly, again, you don't see what people are doing, what people are talking about and doing. It really doesn't have the same amount of interest to you. We understand, again, that humanity is on a path and each person is living, breathing. Each person who's living and breathing is an incarnation of this one life. We understand the divinity and the perfection of everyone everywhere, and that all are doing the best they can. If you're with us and you're interested in connection and expansion, your purpose is moving along these lines, in this greater direction toward unity, the realization of oneness with all people, all life, and towards self-realization. Finding your purpose is more than a subject that's discussed on a TV show like Oprah. Like meditation and our powerful affirmative prayer process, these are things that we can do. We meditate and we can do affirmative prayer. Like doing those things, knowing your purpose brings the clarity that will help you demonstrate a happier, fuller, more beautiful life. A word on our teaching. Our teaching is such a gift to the world. Ernest Holmes thought it was the next great thing. Most of the world lives from the consciousness of not having enough, not being enough, having pain and having despair, sadness, and more. That's not what we're about. I recently read an article that said 10% of the people living in the country have a clear idea of what they're here to do or what their purpose is in their life. And I thought a lot about that yesterday. And it really rings true for me, because I remember when they said of Emerson, the consciousness of Ralph Waldo Emerson, that only a few from every generation would have the consciousness that was in Ralph Waldo Emerson. See, that's a consciousness of a connected person. And they're in a different world. They're really about their father's business, so to speak. The things of the world are not what they're about. They're really here knowing they're here for X number of years, and they're about bigger things. So let's be optimistic and think that there are at least 10% of the population that are connected and clear about their purpose, because those are the people that are lifting humanity and leading forward just by being who they are. If you know your purpose in life, I'll add, it becomes much easier to make decisions about what you want. You'll be able to eliminate a lot of drama. If you have your purpose and know your purpose, it's usually something you discover that's you already had an inkling of, maybe since the time you were a child. It's something that's been operating in you for a long time. In the audience, I know some of you know, and some of you know the things you really want to be doing. And maybe you're realizing even now, 40, 50, 60, I'm not quite doing it yet. Well, maybe this talk will be the catalyst to get you revved up and excited about taking the next steps. I'll ask the question again because I want you to think about it. What is my purpose? So these are some things that I'd like you to think about today. Let me see if there's something else for you. Second. And are you living your best life? We've been doing a class this year which asks the question, who have I come here to be? And am I creating a life that's working for me and for everyone else? What comes up for you when I ask the question, what's your purpose? Do you know? I'm looking at the audience. I'm getting nods. This is good. There's going to be a variety of answers when I ask this question. All of them are going to be good, right? So I'm here to teach. I'm thinking to myself, I'm here to teach, I'm here to love, I'm here to learn, and I'm here to express. And my purpose is very brief. It isn't some long thing. And it's something that's never achieved completely. So when you're thinking of this question, what's your purpose? It's probably something it's a big idea. It's like, I don't know if you could ever say you've arrived exactly, but it's a big direction you're moving towards. And it's something that perhaps is never entirely done. And you can't just check it off like a goal, like I accomplished this. It's rather fulfilled in each moment you are on track. Each moment I'm on track. I'm living my purpose. We're living our purpose. It's not something that you necessarily affirm. It's something that you discover about yourself. Your purpose can be thought of like your heart. You don't create one. Like the Tin Man in Oz needed one, right? You don't create one. You discover the one you have always had, and you let that flame fan within you. Our purpose might sound something like this, for example. I'm here to express joy. I'm here to be a lover and a nurturer of life. I'm here to help and to encourage and to teach. I'm here to lift myself up and others. I'm here to nurture. I'm here to help keep our message alive. Some of you ministers are so passionate about the teaching. I know I've been teaching our teaching. If I had to open up doors and carry books and sweep the floors and do whatever the heck we've had to do, it's been going on for 40 years because people who love this teaching really, really know the importance of it and what it can do to help the world. I'm here to keep our message alive. I am a healing presence. There's so many ways to discover and express what your purpose is. Though again, I believe most of you already know. Maybe you need to articulate it yourselves and refine it, become more clear. The more time you take and the more clear you get, the more your life will reflect the clarity that you have. You could make a list of all your positive qualities if you're still not in touch with what your purpose is. You might meditate. You could simply ask within yourself and spirit will answer. Let spirit answer. Let life respond to that question. It's an important question. Once you can define it, acknowledge it. Some people say, don't talk about it because this is your precious thing. And you don't need other people saying, oh, you can't do this and you shouldn't do that and whatever. This is you. And maybe you've been setting yourself aside for quite a while. So you want to kindle and nurture this great idea. Like a little plant that needs your nurturing without the feedback of others. There have been way too many people for too many years telling you how you should live your life and what's right and wrong. You, on some level within you, always have had this great gift. And so let's let it come forward. You are an individualization of life. Let your heart and your spirit speak. When you know your purpose, it makes it much easier to choose goals. All the lesser ideas will have a tendency to slip away. Things become much easier. You're in a greater sense of alignment when you come from this place of knowing. When your purpose becomes integrated, confusion of any kind starts to slip away. There's a line I remember from another book: nothing is difficult that is completely desired. So when you know what you're about, you know what you really want, it's kind of like clears a lot of things up. For example, I know I'm a practitioner of this teaching, and I've been trusting this process back to the days when I was teaching Louise classes at Unity in Miami. I know life reflects consciousness. So, for example, I know as a practitioner of this teaching, I'm here to live the affirmative life, and it follows that that will be my overriding focus. I might not do it perfectly, but I'm always working in that direction. We might like and be interested in a lot of other things, competing things, because we're excited about life. But our overriding focus, if you're a practitioner or someone who's really into our studies, if you're a truth student, your overriding focus is going to be about seeing the good. And you're going to learn not to take things personally. You're going to learn that you're about your Father's business, which is really about lifting yourself up in the world as well. And as you are doing this work on yourself, you develop that kind of consciousness that lifts yourself up and lifts others as well. When you're really clear, there's going to be a quickening within you. The universe, as Deepak Chopra always said, has great organizing power once you're clear. When you're clear and when you are aligned with it, it's amazing how things start to resolve themselves in your day-to-day experience. Situations get cleared up, relationships improve, or people move the heck out. You know, because what the hell do you want to be hanging on to something that's toxic for, right? Honestly, you're meant for better, right? Release them, let them go, and trust life. When you're clear and when you're focused, it happens. There's an old metaphysical saying, I'm sure you all know it: as within, so without. And as your intentions are clear and more laser-like and more focused, you're apt to sense a certain serendipity. You'll notice synchronicities of all kinds. Things will be lighter, like you can't touch me. I'm here, I know what I'm here to do, and I'm not about all that drama. You can keep that stuff over here, right? It's like, I'm not about craziness. Keep it over there. You know, it doesn't matter what the whole world is living in. It matters what is going on with you. This teaching is entirely up to you, and your life is entirely up to you. So you'll have this awareness, and you get to play with life a little bit differently, and you can have some fun. You're apt to experience a little bit more joy, even in the midst of unpleasant circumstances, because you kind of like got the inside track. You know, and you know that you know. At last, your mojo is working once you're connected with this. Life seems to be working in ways you have not seen in a long time or ever seen before. The kingdom is truly at hand. It always has been, and it's always waiting for you in your discovery. The gift has already been given. So there's a synchronicity when you're working with this teaching, and you'll start to notice the good things which are everywhere and always happening. You'll have the eyes to see them where before you could not see. You were blind to the gifts and the good because you were preoccupied with a story. So there's great value in discovering your purpose. And as you do, there's apt to be changes in your life. And naturally, you're apt to be thinking more and more about the next steps, things you want to express as you move forward. And that's great. Our teaching is always about positive expectancy. Confusion and conflict will begin to vanish. as you realize that nothing and no one is against you, and that everything that is in your life is of your own creation. You are resolved to drop it, any and all such ideas that live within you. Wherever and whenever they come into mind, into your consciousness, delete them, release them, and replace them with life-giving thoughts. I'll say that again. Whenever they come into mind or consciousness, delete them, release them, and replace them with life-giving thoughts. When you're coming from that place of inner connection, things are going to change as a result of this increased awareness. Things that you thought were important before will slip away. Sometimes people too. It's time to let go of the things that are holding you back. And these things are self-imposed, by the way. So let's not start blaming anyone. Things and even people that you've held on to, you will finally be able to release. And because you're expanding, you might be letting go of your need to be right. You might be letting go of your need to have the last word. You might be letting go of a lot of things. And when you're doing this, you're really living on the beam. You will learn not to take what people do personally. Never, never, never personalize anything. Have the consciousness to know that they're all doing the best they can with what they have and where they are, and let it be. You will begin to let people just be who they are. When you have that kind of clarity that comes from practicing this teaching and that kind of self-knowledge, there's a lot of things you can completely let go of as you acquire this kind of consciousness and live from a higher purpose. In our teaching, we center ourselves in the awareness that we are alive in life, and we're alive in this energy. We know it's a presence, and again, we realize it's alive in us, responding to us, and we're coming to realize that it is alive in everyone. We have no superstitions in our teaching, no bad and good energies and people and all that other stuff, because we know that there is one energy, one life that we live, move, and breathe in, and that we carry the clouds around, or we carry the light. We create the experiences that we have, plain and simple. You get to decide. We know there's power available. Spirit, by the way, keeps wooing you. Woos me all the time. It's been wooing me for decades. When I'm taking a course that doesn't seem right, you have this thing, it's a conscience. There's noise that happens. You don't have to be punished by a God above. You're punished by your own realization that you're living against your purpose and your higher calling. We have so many lessons, right? And as we live on purpose and we get on track, we will be creating from a much different place. We know that we are established in safety. I am established in safety. The universe is rooting for everybody, everyone. It's rooting for everybody. Don't try to get in there and get in the way of other people's lessons. Your lessons were uniquely yours, and everyone is getting theirs. We live in, move in, and have our existence in this divine substance. Life is moving forward by means of each and every one of us. If any doors have been closed, know with me that whatever has taken place, no matter how tough it's been or rough it's been, these things that have happened have brought you to a higher place where you have more wisdom, you have more knowing. We are truth students here. We're new thought students. You might ask or say to yourself and claim and proclaim, I am wise, I'm wonderful, I'm loving, I'm giving, I'm peaceful. And keep saying those things until you begin to connect with them and believe them. If you're caught up in illusions like most of the world that suggest that you're not adequate, that you're bad, you're a sinner, you're unforgivable, if you think you're unlovable, not good enough, not smart enough, if you think any of these kind of things, which is most of humanity, right? Well, if you think any of this, well, all I can say is you've come to the right place because that's the stuff we work on week after week. Living a life of purpose will bring you to a place where all these misconceptions will be brought to light. Change happens and we evolve. Spirit has a conspiracy going on, if you will. Emerson always said the dice of God are always loaded. Life is unfolding to bring you the lessons that you need to bring yourself to a higher place. You can dynamically engage it and live and move forward if you discover your purpose and you really want to move forward. That's what we're here to do. You can grow quickly. And if you don't want to engage it, your soul, all souls everywhere, knows. And the universe will bring people the perfect lessons anyway to grow and evolve. It's always unfolding within everybody. It's an unfolding within you right now. If you choose not to let it guide you, if you choose to be in resistance, it will get your attention eventually, I promise you. It cannot be drowned out. It is the river that runs through you, cleaning, cleansing, washing out all that is not like itself. It inspires you, it nudges you, it woos you, it brings you through discontent, sometimes to inspiration, other times, always for you to step up, step forward. I had a great teacher, I had a few great teachers who said to me that you're here to express life bravely, unashamedly. You're in the express business. Playing small doesn't serve anybody. These ideas always rang true to me, even when I was a teenager. Yet I wasn't clear on what it was that I was here to do. Hiding in a corner, playing small, watching other people live big lives isn't the answer. You know, the type of person who's the wallflower, who doesn't make waves, who's just trying to fit in. A person who's not trying to rock the boat, if you're preoccupied with trying to be acceptable. All of that we come to understand is coming from a place of not loving the self, at least not loving the self enough yet. A lot of us don't trust ourselves or haven't been confident or thought that our lives even mattered. Well, I'm here to tell you your life is amazing and you matter and everything that you do matters. And it's time to start celebrating yourself. If nothing more, we'll do that with you every week. We'll remind you how great you are. We teach you that there's a power, a presence available all the time. There is incredible power at your disposal and you can use it. What an idea. Many of us were taught to be on our knees praying each day to a God above for forgiveness and salvation. A lot of the world thinks that they were born in sin and they need to be saved. And some of them believe much, much worse. And that's really sad, but that's the way it is. In this teaching and on this call, you can let go of all of that. You can begin to. Maybe you never took on the guilt of the world. Maybe no one ever told you all that negative stuff. I'm grateful. Hope that's true. Some of us have remnants of those former philosophies and teachings. A lot of people live with shame and feeling terrible about themselves and what they've done. The truth is that you were born in light and you are one with spirit and you are an individualization of spirit. We are, as the universe created us, in the light, in the love, and in the glory. Whatever source is, whatever God is, whatever this loving presence is, you are. We forget the truth of this. Oh, and most of the world is not living their best lives. I believe that we are here, each one of us, to shine in our own way, in some way to be more authentic, to utilize our gifts, and to appreciate life. We're born of light. We're sparks of awareness within the mind of God. Young kids naturally shine. You used to shine. I used to shine. We can shine again. We need to unlearn a lot of the fearful things that we picked up along the way. The information that's not helpful. We need to trade in these old concepts and replace them with ideas that are more life-giving. A lot of people resist the good. They resist the light. Some are scared of the light, that causes them to awaken. We realize here that all the opportunities, we realize there's been a lot of opportunities that we've missed, and we're resolved to stop that. We want to take advantage of all the good that's presented to us. And we realize the future is entirely up to us. Our soul, our being, is unfolding in greatness as we speak and as we think this morning. We're one with this power, and we're one with light, and we're here to share that light. The light's in everyone, not just a few of us. There are changes in letting our light shine. Maybe you're waking up today on this call for the first time, God knows where, on YouTube, right? And realizing that you have not let yourself shine. It's time to shine. It might seem scary, but you're here, you're listening to this information, and you're discovering your purpose. And you will be beginning to openly express your thoughts. Please begin trusting life in you, and it will get better. You have great power at your disposal. We regret, many of us, that it's taken so long to discover our powers and our gifts and begin to trust life and utilize them. As we come together week by week and we engage in our practice, we'll stretch. It's our intention to trust life more and more. Spirit is speaking to us through us all the time. Again, we intend to trust life. There's a little song from many, many years ago that some of you know about that little light. We have a little life, that little life of mine. I'm going to let it shine. Remember that? All around the world, I'm going to let it shine. I'm not going to hide it under a bushel. I'm going to let it shine. Finding your purpose and living it will bring you a long way along the path. It will help clarify everything for you. And so ends today's lesson. Thank you.